find out where to look at my stuff.
We are
Do I look
officially.
cross-eyed right now?
You're looking in different places. You're looking in
Yeah,
various.
because I don't know where my camera is. Because I don't have like a. I'm looking at my cell phone, but then when I see myself on my cell phone, it looks like I'm looking up at something. I'm not. It's high.
So
Whatever.
look at the screen.
I am. I
Oh
just got like
wow,
8 screens. I got like 8 screens. I'm looking at my
that's
my cell phone screen, which is here where I'm pointing, right? But it looks
uh-huh.
like I'm looking somewhere else, but I'm not. I don't get it. Maybe if I like look over here, it looks like I'm looking at my. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, you're looking like you're looking away. Well, welcome everyone to Reggie Bridges the Gap, live on Fridays. This Friday, I have with me an amazing expat that is living in Brazil right now. Go ahead and say your name, introduce yourself to the audience, tell us who you are, who you be with, where you be at. Well, you don't gotta tell us who you be with, but just go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, because I would say most of the time I'll be with myself because it be like that. But yeah, my name is Ahmad or Amar Mansoor or Amar Mansoor Ali El Bay Simmons. And yeah, my video is crooked because I live that crooked life like that, like crooked eye.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. I live in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, the northeast of Brazil. I call it Baby Africa, Little Africa, because it's got the second largest African population outside of Nigeria, second largest population on the planet. So I've been living here for about 12 years now, since 2000, end of 2008, right after that housing market crash that happened in the States. And I was like, I had just bought a house like the year before for 140,000 and ended up having to sell it for like 90. So I
Wow.
was pissed. Yeah. So I came here, I didn't look back. And I've been here ever since. Um, like I said, I usually roll by myself. I got very small circle of friends because I think I have a very particular thought process, and I live within a very particular paradigm that most people don't understand. So I usually end up hanging out with me and like a couple of my closest friends. So,
Now, what does particular look like? Explain that to someone, as because we got people here who have never been out the country. We have people who've never stayed in a different country for more than 5 days. So,
okay.
as someone who's from New York and living in Brazil, what is the particular lifestyle like? What is that like?
Well, let's see. My lifestyle is pretty simple. I don't do much. Before the pandemic, I was a DJ. Um, so I spent most of my nights out. Like I'm still a night owl, but right now, nighttime is nothing to do. But I would spend my days in the house, listening to music, researching music to DJ, trying to produce music, or just relaxing and meditating, and mostly eating all the time because I like to eat. Um, And then on the weekends, I would go to the island called Morro De São Paulo, which
Yes.
and I would DJ there and enjoy my life. So, I mean, it's not like a luxury life, but it is a very nice quality of life. I spend a lot of my time close to water all the time, really, especially like from where I live. Um, and an island, of course, is an island, so it's also close to water. Um, And other than that, I just live a pretty chill life right now because of the pandemic. It's Netflix and chill, pretty much all the time. Um, I also do massage therapy out here, so that keeps me going a
And
little
yes,
bit.
if you're ever in Salvador, definitely get a massage therapy, especially for my dance friends that dance and want to travel to Bahia just for maybe a vacation. Yes, link up with Amar is definitely worth it. I need to definitely book you when I get back because I've been
Yep.
doing the most out here in New York City. Can you talk a
All
little bit
right. Well.
about that? How did you get started with that massage therapy? You got
Oh, okay.
a bunch of
My
skills.
story. I got a yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of every one of my skills comes with a long story. I started doing massage therapy when I was 18, 17 going on 18. I graduated um, high school, went to college, spent 1 year in Indiana Institute of Technology in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hated it.
I can imagine,
Um,
Anna.
yeah, it was crazy. I thought I knew what racism was until I got to Indiana. Like I was like, whoa, okay, these crackers crazy. And no offense to the Caucasians that are watching, but in Indiana, y'all a different breed. There's something wrong with y'all. For real. Um, but yeah, I ended up dropping out of that school after 1 year, and on my way back to New York from Indiana, my aunt, who was driving me back to New York, she came to get me, and her car broke down halfway through. So it broke down in Michigan. So I ended up having to stay in Michigan. Um, Now I was living with her. I wasn't paying rent, and I didn't actually have a job. So um, I had to figure out a way to make some money. Well, not make some money, but just to contribute. And my cousin, who was living there at the time, my aunt's daughter, she had a condition, or has a condition still, where she would suffer through constant muscle pains. And one of her treatments was massage therapy. But the person that would apply the massages was my aunt. So I was like, well, hey, I'm living here. I don't pay no rent. I'm living here for free. I'm eating y'all food, using y'all electricity and water and whatnot. If you teach me how to do a massage, I can actually, do the massage for my cousin. That'll be one less thing that you have to do, in the household. So she taught me a little bit, and then she was like, you have a natural talent. Like you have really good hands for massage. You should actually pursue it.
She wasn't.
And my aunt, I really respect my aunt, a lot of my aunts, but this one in particular because of her business savvy. She was always the one that was like, do this, do that, and you'll be successful. So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, I ain't got nothing else to do. So I did, and obviously you received the results of all of that training. From there, I did a couple of apprenticeships in a couple of places. I audited a class at the National Holistic Institute of California. Took a couple of courses. Took a Reiki course. Studied some Kemetic energy science, some healing art at the Temple of the White and Gold Lotus, shrine to Tepi Hechir, him Tepi Nachir Amin Ra. And yeah, I still do it. I've taken some classes here in Salvador as well, just just stay on course and get my certification. So yeah, that's how I got into massage, and everybody seems to like it. So I keep doing it.
Well, that's amazing, and thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, again, I'm not kidding, y'all. Book him, like seriously. I want to share really quickly. Right here we have this Morro De São Paulo video that I have on my page, and you can basically look at it and see what it looks like. Like this is Morro De São
Oh
Paulo.
yeah, I forgot you stayed there. That's
I
right.
definitely did. And you guys can see this. And I'll show you another one of Morro De São Paulo. It's been a
Yeah, we
while.
had fun. Those
We
couple of days were fun. That was
we
awesome.
definitely did have a lot of fun in Morro De São Paulo. This is not Morro De São Paulo, but I'm trying to get there. Here we go, right here. This is it right here. As you can see, really beautiful. Amar also offers tours. So if you want to go to Morro De São Paulo, you can definitely link with him. Amar, can you please tell us about your time in Morro De São Paulo? Really,
Man,
briefly, what drew you to that island? What are you still doing today there?
God, what drew me to Morro de Sao Paulo? Well, man, that's an episode in itself. Um, I Morro de Sao Paulo. Okay, when I first came down. Well, not when I first came down, but the second time that I came down in 2008. I was married at the time,
Uh-huh.
and my wife and I lived in a place called Ilhéus, which is south of Itacaré, south of Morro De São Paulo, uh, you know, in that area. And we had an English school. Now, one of our English students, whose mom had a posada in Morro de São Paulo, so she was like, "Oh, you should go to Morro de São Paulo. You should go to Morro de São Paulo. It's great. It's awesome. It's a little island and yada 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 yada." And at the time we were ignorant, so my wife and I was like, "Well, why would we want to go to some island in the middle of nowhere in Brazil?" Hmm. So eventually we finally went and we fell in love with the island. We're like, wow, oh wow, this is awesome. And since we had an English school at the time, my idea was like, okay, I'll go to Morro de Sao Paulo on the weekends and teach English to the people because it's a tourist island and they're gonna need English to speak to the American-speaking tourists.
Mm-hmm.
So we implemented that plan. I would go up to Morro de Sao Paulo on the weekends from like Friday and stay till Monday and try to build up the class, which never actually happened. The people in Moho were very focused on Argentinian tourists because there were a lot of Argentinians coming. So we're like, we need to learn
Wow.
Spanish, which is why there are so many Argentinians in Morro de Sao Paulo right now. It's actually been
Yeah.
neo-colonialized by the
Yeah. I
Argentinians.
noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So eventually I gave up on the English thing. Um, and I got a job at like a hotel receptionist, which that didn't work. And then I got a job as a waiter at a restaurant, and that also didn't work. So
Things
yeah, I'm my I have very specific skill sets, and neither one of them were one of them.
right.
Um, so then I left Moho. I kind of was like, okay, well, Moho's cool to visit. It's a great place to visit, but I can't live there. And pretty much went back to Ilhéus, and then eventually we moved to Salvador. When we got to Salvador, we split up, and then I was just trying to make my life in Salvador. I started Guerreiros Da Luz, which I'll talk about in a little while. But as things progressed in Salvador, I get really like popular and almost kind of famous. I was teaching capoeira to the American students that would come to Salvador with the organization called Acobeo. So I would teach the capoeira class to them, and also a place called Idioma, I believe it was, where they would bring students to learn Portuguese and experience Brazilian culture. So I was on the verge of becoming the official capoeira teacher for them. And then I had the kids. I was teaching the kids with Guerreiros Da Luz, and then I would be out at night like partying and stuff. And sometimes
TV.
I'd be like a tour guard. Yeah, I'd be like a tour guide and stuff, showing people what's what in Salvador. Helping also to protect people from like the craziness that was going on.
Right.
And since I was young and single, I things would happen, and the locals were actually getting really jealous.
Wow.
So, and this is all a story. This is all a story about the leading up to Moho. So, it's how crazy the story is. So the local guys here in Pelourinho and Salvador, they would get jealous because they would always see me with groups of large groups of people, like between 5 and 30 people. I remember one time I took a group of 45 people to a party.
Wow.
We literally made the party happen. Like that was how it was. So they were getting jealous. They're like, "Oh, this guy is coming out here getting all the girls and yada 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 yada." So there was one particular group of students who I really had gotten close to one of the girls, and the girl actually happened to be a political figure's daughter who was traveling and doing her thing as she was a student, but she was some political figure in some Central American country's daughter. So we hit it off very well, obviously, and then they went on a trip from Salvador to Chapada Diamantina, which is about 6 hours away north. And while they were on that trip, somebody named Zanatus, who still walks around here in Puerto de Baja, and you think I don't know, he called the school and, played it off as if he was me, and he was like, I'm going to kidnap the students and
Oh,
hold them for ransom until you pay a certain amount of money. On that van, in that bus, was that girl that I was dealing with, who was the daughter of a political figure in a Central American country. I am the son of the third tier student of Malcolm X, who is also the royal ambassador for the Moorish kingdom. So obviously that became a problem. Yeah. And then the owner of the program is very well connected here in Salvador, like underground connections and stuff like that. So out of nowhere, I had people in black suits following me around El Salvador. Yeah. So that happened. And then also just before that, a couple of the students that were in that group had their cards cloned. And this one white girl, once again, I don't think she was from Indiana though. So you Indiana people get a pass on this one. But she blamed their whole thing, like all their problems with getting their cards stolen, and a couple of them got robbed. She blamed it all on me. All of it. It was like I was the ringleader of an entire criminal organization in Salvador that I didn't even know about.
wow,
So
really was trying to sabotage you. Well, they did sabotage you.
yeah, they absolutely did, completely 100%. I still got the emails. This was 2012. So my school, Guerreiros Da Luz, shut down. My teaching, the students from the United States, Capoeira, shut down.
What?
I couldn't go. Hmm?
No, I was like, what?
Yeah, I couldn't go anywhere in Salvador because I was being followed by uh, the Central American country's secret service, who was who was like shadowing the girl to protect her. They were trying to figure out who I was. So eventually, I was like, well, I gotta get out of Dodge. I'm not gonna stay here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I could be walking down the street and I'm from Brooklyn. So,
Right.
my head was like somebody on the roof. I see somebody come out the window, like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. So I was like, I got to get out of here. The only place I knew other than Salvador, excuse me, was Iliaus, which is like 6 to 8 hours away. And I had, if I went there, I had no rapport, no way to, get a job. And the only other place I knew was Morro De São Paulo. So I was like, well, let me head out there and see what happens. And so I got out there, took my stuff out there. All I had was a big suitcase of stuff, and I still only have a big suitcase of stuff. I like to travel light. But out there, I met a brother, of mine, who now is a brother of mine, from Cairo, Egypt. And another friend of mine who's from Spain, at Posada. And what happened was, since I was a DJ, the guy with the Posada was like, look, I want to have music here pretty much all the time. So it was like, you play music, from basically from 10 o'clock in the morning to like midnight in intervals. I had time to like go to the beach and chill and relax. But in exchange for DJing, I would be able to live at the Posada and eat. So that's what I did. From there, I met Bernie, who has one of the best bars in Morro De São Paulo. And he started letting me DJ parties at his space. And I was just killing the parties. I was like, there was one party where I had to have 4 people hold the speakers because people were jumping up and down so much and so wild that the speakers were going to fall. Yeah, we had some crazy fun parties. So that actually started kicking my my career as a DJ off.
Career off.
Um, and then I met the people at the club that I ended up DJing that I have the residency, even after the pandemic is over. And I started working with them. I started first working selling tickets, and then I started working the bar and selling tickets. And then when I finally got to like talk to the owner and the DJ, I was like, "Look, I'm a DJ. Let me open the parties for you. Let me get the party warmed up." Yo,
Hey,
what
Jordan.
up, Bishop down in Sao Paulo? Yeah, I see you just signed in. What's good, man?
Hey, Jordan. Everybody leave a comment. We're currently wrapping up the topic of Morro de São Paulo. Why Amar went to Morro de São Paulo, not Sao Paulo. For those who are not familiar with Brazil, Morro de São Paulo is an island in Bahia. So we are talking about his DJ experience currently right now. Leave a comment, show some love, and share this live. Go right ahead, Amar.
Yeah. So yeah, I met the owner. I spoke to the DJ, and I was like, let me start opening the parties for you. So it was funny. On Friday and Saturday were like crazy hustle days. I would spend all Friday promoting and trying to sell tickets for the party. And Saturday from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to like 10 o'clock at night, promoting the party and trying to sell tickets. At 11 o'clock, I would go to the club and start preparing the bar so I could work the bar. When the party opened at 12 o'clock, I would leave the bar, go DJ, and warm the party up till 1:30. Then at 1:30, come back to the bar and work the rest of the night at the bar.
Wow. But you know what? Morro de São Paulo is so beautiful. That honestly sounds like a life only someone could dream of.
Nah, it was dope. It was really dope.
And that's amazing that you found like life and productivity in the midst of being sabotaged. If for those who missed it, Amar was sabotaged in Salvador, which led him to flee to Morro de São Paulo. Yeah. So really quickly, I want to talk about Guerreiros Da Luz. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that is and how?
Definitely. Okay, well, Guerreiros Da Luz is a byproduct of what happened in my life as a youth. Like I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and I pretty much had the typical project lifestyle. Since I've always been in the martial arts, like my parents couldn't afford a babysitter. So when my dad and my mom went to train, they actually would take me with them. My dad says I was throwing punches before I could crawl. So I've always been a fighter. I've always known how to fight. So when I got old enough to actually fight, I was living in the project. So I became everybody's best friend really quickly because they were like, yeah, we need this dude. We want him, if something happens, just call him odd. We got a problem with such and such. Call him odd. So I ended up being the enforcer, beatdown guy. So, moving on through life, that was how I got my reputation. I was a fighter. I would always get in fights. Come to high school, I was involved in 2 gangs legitimately in the street, NWP and Decepticon and Deceps, 3rd generation. And then I had my own little crew in my high school called the Scars. We weren't like bad kids or anything, but, we were all like, almost 6 feet or better. And, we hung out together. So we would get in fights every now and then. And eventually they were like, look, y'all got to go. So they were going to kick us out of school. And like I said, my mom and my dad and pretty much all my whole family are martial artists. So I knew if I got kicked out of school, it was going to be a huge problem. I was probably going to end up getting my butt kicked for real. But, before the hammer dropped and I was expelled, my basketball teacher and my gym coach brought a guy from here in Salvador named Jalon Vera, who's actually a capoeira master from Capoeira Luanda. to teach a capoeira class, and it was basically an ultimatum. It was like either when you're not in class or basketball practice or lunch, you have to train capoeira, um, and you won't get kicked out of school. So I was like, okay. So I started doing it, and then because of my martial arts background and my little bit of dancing background that I had, shout outs to the Hellraisers for Life dance crew, Brooklyn, New York, Empire Roller Skating Ring. Um, So because of that, capoeira actually became really easy to me. So I excelled really quickly at capoeira. Ended up graduating, went to college, had that experience with Indiana, then coming back, had the experience becoming a massage therapist. Then when I finally made it back to New York, I actually started training capoeira for real, like seriously 3-4 times a week with Mestranda Edna Lima with Abada Capoeira. And she was so impressed by my progress and how I trained, and she also thought I was pretty handsome. So she was like, "We want you to come to Brazil to represent the United States in a capoeira tournament." And I was like, "Yes, of course I will." Um, so I did, and when I got out there, I was, placed face to face with the disparity of poverty and the enormous homeless child population that existed and still exists to this day in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And after going through my trials and tribulations as a youth and a young adult in the States, and always complaining about what I didn't have, like I didn't have the newest Jordans, or I never had a pair of Jordans actually. I didn't have the newest stuff. I didn't have a bunch of clothes or whatever. I didn't have the stuff that I complained that I didn't have. That once I got fully involved in the street life, I ended up buying anyway. But it all began to make no sense to me anymore. It's like I'm complaining about stuff that I don't have when what I look at what I did have at the time. I was living a luxurious life. I had a lot of stuff, like, compared to these kids who, my main group of kids that I ended up working around in Brazil was a group of 6 kids who lived on the streets. Each of
Yeah.
them had shorts, but between the 6 of them, they had 3 shirts and, 2 pair of flip flops. So it was like, what? And the youngest of the kids was 6 years old, and the oldest was 9. So I got 6 kids between the ages of 6 and 9 living on the street that I'm working with. Um, so I get to Brazil. I kind of skipped around a bit, but I got to Brazil that time. This was in like 1998, and while I was at the tournament, it was a 4-day tournament. I was in Lapa, the Arcos de Lapa in Rio de Janeiro, and I ran into this one little boy. He was actually part of the capoeira community. He was part of the tournament, but when I saw him, it was like 11:30 at night, almost midnight. And I was like, "Yo, what are you doing in the street? Don't you need to go home? It's your bedtime, right?" He was like, "Well, I don't have a home. I live in the street, so I might as well be awake if y'all still here." And I was like,
Wow.
"What? Okay, all right." So we let him hang out with us for a little while before we eventually left, and he went to wherever he was staying. Um, and then I ended up going back home. After that place, that particular situation blew my mind. But I was like so enthused about Brazil and so infatuated with Brazil. The following year, I came back again using my what I had left from my college grants and stuff. That money you have left over that you're supposed to reinvest into books or pay
Uh-huh.
back your student loans, which they never tell you. They don't ever tell you that money you're supposed to buy books or pay back as part of your student loan, but whatever. Um, I used that money to come back to Brazil, to stay a month and just try to figure out and make sense of what it was that I had experienced in that short amount of time. Um, and when I came back to Brazil that time, I think I had like maybe $200 in my pocket, and I stayed a month, which was awesome. And during that month, when I was staying, I met a little girl who was 11 years old in Arcos da Lapa in Rio de Janeiro. Same situation. It was late at night. I was sitting down buying one of those hot dogs, that now I wouldn't eat if you paid me. But I was going to eat one of those hot dogs, and she came to me and she was like, can you give me some money? And I was like, well, I don't want to give you money. She was like, well, can you buy me a hot dog? Oh, you still there? Man, think we're still live. I don't know. Is there anybody out there? Say what's up if I can still see me or hear me. Am I still connected?
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. We had a quick little brownout. So I'm here in the dark a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on from that, Amar, and we're probably gonna end it just a slight bit early. I am so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're over here in the dark. So one thing I must say, sorry about that, everyone. All right, we got 3 people watching. Welcome to New York, where you have blackouts in the summer. Amar, you should know about that.
Yeah.
On, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's crazy.
I mean, come on. What more do you know? Come on. Amar, you know that this is how it is out here in the summertime. Blackouts, brownouts.
Crazy.
That is how it is.
I haven't been there in so long, so I actually really forgot that those things happen.
So, Amar, really quickly, can you talk about your project that you have going on currently right now? I know you shared it with me, but I don't want to put it out there. So go ahead and tell people exactly what that is, something that you're doing right now.
Okay, so Guerreiros Da Luz stems from that time that I went to Brazil. I came to Brazil in 1998 to represent the United States in the Capoeira tournament, and what I saw with the homeless situation. Hi, Jean Carlos. Nice to see you. So, Guerreiros da Luz comes from that time that I spent in Brazil, in Rio. And it is currently a cultural arts program that teaches martial arts, capoeira, jiu-jitsu, karate, and the other martial arts I've studied, ninjutsu, taekwondo, qigong. Um, and it teaches meditation, the laws of attraction, spiritual laws and principles, uh, comedic laws and principles, but also just the regular spiritual laws and principles, art, English, whatever we can, to stimulate the minds of the youth. We teach that, and what makes it unique is that from the ages of 6 to 12, all the classes are absolutely free. From 12 to 17, the students have to do something that merits them training. So they have to do some voluntary work or do something in solidarity with the community. Somebody in the community has to say, hey, they deserve to be, training. And then the adults, they pay a nominal monthly fee just to make sure that the youth can continue to train. Right now, we teach 2 days a week. And our clientele right now, our students are women and children, which since my job and what I believe in is to uplift my people, the only way to uplift the culture is to uplift the women because they are the matriarch and the mothers of the culture. So that's what we do, and we want to, well, I want to make it an international youth program so that we can collectively create a larger world family, combating xenophobia, racism, nationalism, and start to implement the mentality that the human family is just that, a human family. And if you are a living, breathing, energetic being, or even not living and breathing, we are still all connected by the same exact types of matter. Like there's only 4 elements, and we're all a combination of those 4 elements. So we are actually all connected and all pretty much, in essence, the same thing. So those are the things that I try to teach in Guerreiros da Luz, and just try to make sure that kids and adults take a positive path and a positive path in life, so they don't have to go through this stuff that I went through.
That is so amazing, and I'm so happy that you started that. That is amazing. Friends, make sure that you follow Amar on Instagram and that you also subscribe to his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
And make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, a like, and make sure that you share, and make sure that you also subscribe to Regine Bridges the Gap if you are brand new.
Yeah.
I have one
Also,
last, huh?
also, if anybody would like to help or contribute, we do need donations. We actually do need help. Taking a long time to like swallow my pride and say that I can't do this by myself. Um, so if people want to help, if you want to come and volunteer if you're in Salvador, if you just want to be a sponsor, like a monthly sponsor, if you just want to donate one time, we definitely need it. So if you can, please do. If you're interested in helping, you could get in contact with Regine, and she'll pass you my information. And yeah, we need it. The world needs it.
Please hit me up if you are interested in being a contributor to Amar's project. Please hit me up, and I will definitely direct you to him in ways that you can help. Especially for those who there's a lot of people that I know that really want to go to like South America and give back and do a lot of great work. And I feel like you're one of those people that people can link up with as well. So I'm
Yeah.
really happy for you, and I'm proud of you, and you're going places. We got two more things that we're going to talk about. The next one we're going to talk
Okay.
about is these burgers. What's up with these
Okay.
burgers? Let's talk about these burgers. What's
Um.
going on with the burgers?
So the burgers are awesome. Like these are like the best burgers I've had in a long time, especially here in Salvador. It's called Asmina's Burgers. And it's created by my girlfriends, Naji and Gabriella. And Naji's an amazing cook, actually. And she's worked at most of the gourmet hamburger spots, and her the way she was treated, and the way she saw uh, the the bosses in these places, the way they treated women. Brazil is a very machismo place, so
Very.
she noticed a lot of that in the workplaces. So she wanted to create an environment and a hamburger, that basically doesn't have any of that. It's a place where everybody's accepted. They are part of the LBGTQI community. So it's a representative spot. There are also black women. So that's also where they represent. And the burgers are just amazing, like literally just amazing. Best burgers I've had in a long time. And all the names of the burgers are names of influential women who have done things historically, both in Brazil and the United States. We have Michelle Obama burger. We have
That was my
Nzinga burger.
favorite.
Yeah. We have Harriet Tubman. Um, all the names, I can't remember all of the names, but they're all influential women and black women who have made historic events happen.
Wow.
Maria Catera, she was the first woman in the army in Brazil. Like she infiltrated the army so that she could fight in the war,
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. So it's really good. We've been in business for about maybe 2 months now, 3 months.
And what are your operation hours?
We are open Wednesday to Sunday, like right now, to Sunday from 5 to 11 p.m.
Nice. So people could order a burger right now, right?
Yes, just go to iFood, look for Asmina's Burgers, or go to Instagram, Asmina's underline burgers, and you can find them.
Guys, you won't go wrong. I promise you. It was so good. I had the Michelle Obama one. That, oh my God, that was my favorite. When I come back, that's what I'm getting. So
Yes, yes,
last but
yes,
not
yes.
least, Amar, you have so many like amazing things that you've done, and oh my goodness, what did we talk? We talked about uh we've talked about Guerreiros Da Luz. We talked about Morro De São Paulo. We talked
Hmm.
about you being in Brazil. Why did you move to Brazil? Um, and now we talked about the burgers. And last but not least, we're gonna talk about land.
Oh yeah.
Get into that. Tell us about that. there are people that want to come to Brazil or come to South America in general. I know you can't speak for all of South America, but they want to
Yeah.
basically leave the U.S. and they want to
Okay.
get land. So what is that like?
Yeah.
Go ahead, knock out.
So so I deal with real estate sales and development, but it's also not just plain real estate sales and development. It is black owned, obviously. Company called Negus, Sustainable Real Estate Development, and we try to make sure that we use, as much as possible, recycled materials and ecologically sustainable construction methods to create sustainable communities. We're currently creating one community so far here in Itaparica, which is the island right across. We have three lots still available. Um, and it's virgin land, so you can develop it how you want. We just help you, get the materials. We have the construction people. We have the architects to help you design it, and we can help you build a house for roughly 25,000 USD. Um, Sustainable building, where you can have your lights on, off, in, off grid, like 50/50. You can have your water supply, stuff like that. And then, if you don't want that, we also have some other land available. We have larger plots of land. We have one plot that's 2.8 hectares, which is like 8.6 acres. We have land in Salvador. We have houses available as well to sell. So if you're looking to relocate, we take all the like hassle out of it. We actually direct you. We help you get your CPF number. We help you get settled. We help you get a bank account. Only
Wow.
thing we can't really do for you, like unless depending on how much you invest, we can't like do your visa for you. Like we're not gonna be looking for husbands and wives for people to get married and settle down to get visa. But if you invest a certain amount of money, or you can prove that you make 2,000 USD per month, then we can help you get a visa that way. But yeah, we are here to help not just Black Americans, but people from the diaspora all over the world. If they want to come relocate out here, even if they don't want to relocate, but they just want to have some land or a house or vacation property or rental property, we're here to help you do that and make it as easy as possible. The prices are very reasonable. We have land that starts at about 1,500 USD, which is enough land to build a small house. So if you're interested, we're here.
Amazing. Well, I want to ask one quick question about that. How did you get started with that?
I bought a piece of land.
And then that's when you began Negus.
Yeah, it was like I brought a piece of land, and my friend Mike, who's the real estate agent, who's actually the lead real estate agent in the company. He was like, well, we got a bunch of other plots over here. He has a lot on this in the complex, in the community, and his daughter has a lot in the community. And he was like, yeah, help me sell the land and yada yada yada. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna sell the land, if I'm gonna help you sell the land, and I got my land here too, I want to make sure that I have neighbors that we all share the same concept of quality of life,
Right.
respect for nature, respect for the community,
Right.
respect for the creator, stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'll help you, but I want to also make sure to try to, mediate the community as much as possible. And then I was like, and he was like, well, I got a bunch of other land too. And I was like, well, we should work together and start a company. And then Negus Sustainable Real Estate Development
Was
was
born.
born. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's so inspiring. Like hearing you talk, and I'm gonna put the timestamps for everybody who will be watching later on of each and every topic that Amar discussed and talked about. There goes the lights, and there goes the internet.
Oh, lights came back on.
Amazing. Thank you. So I'll be putting a timestamp for everyone who missed the live or what have you, and I'm coming back on in. Hold on. I'm back in, friends. Let me go ahead and exit myself.
Okay. Whoa. Think I'm here by myself now.
Nope, you are not. So,
okay, there we go. I can see right there.
let me go ahead and exit myself out of this. Hold on.
So for those people who are watching who don't know me, I'm a very serious person, like 60% of the time.
You said 60% of the time?
Yeah, like 60% of the time I'm a serious person.
Well, friends, go ahead and ask questions. We're going to open this now to people who have questions. Anybody that has a question, we've talked about a multitude of topics. Don't be shy. Nothing condescending or nothing shady. Just, keep it cute. I don't think we got any shady people on this live right
Keep
now.
it PG-13.
Right. If you have any questions, please ask. We're going to give like a few seconds. Is Jordan still in the house? Is Jordan still here? Is Jordan still here? Probably not. I have no idea. Maybe he might be here. We have John Carlos talking about come visit Alain Pariba, Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, now. Thanks.
Mountains. Okay. Yeah, I can make that happen. I never heard of it.
Me neither.
But it sounds like a nice place in the mountains.
He said he's from Guadalupe, Rio.
Guadalupe. Oh, really? Yeah. Is it Guadalupe? Rio? Okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. We both learned today.
Follow me on Instagram and hit me up, man.
Please. You can go ahead and type in your Instagram in the chat, Amar, and people could definitely follow you. We're gonna wait just a few more seconds for some questions. Somebody said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Hameen? You got any questions?" We have 3 New Yorkers in the building right now.
What up? New York in the house. I miss New York in the 90s.
Right. Go ahead and ask your questions. Any questions you have. Amar talked about multitude of things. Talked about his real estate business. Also talked about Guerreiros Da Luz, which is about capoeira. Also spoke about his life in Morro De São Paulo, his first visit to Salvador, Bahia, and also opening up a burger shop. So, guys, there's so much to learn. If you have any questions, and he did it all in Brazil. Okay, he's not from Brazil. All right. So, that's a good question. This is a good question. I was going to ask you that as well. How is Brazil these days? Is there still lockdown? Last time I was in Salvador, it was a lockdown. So, what's going on?
Actually, last week, Friday, they just stepped into the green phase of COVID restrictions. So basically, everything's open, and they're allowing parties up into 200. Well, gatherings up to 200 people.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now, see, that was a question I was going to have because I was like, I like to party. As you can see out here in New York, almost every weekend I'm going to a party. Block parties. Huh?
I missed that. I miss partying.
I was going to ask you, I was like, is Salvador like that? Because when I got to Salvador, I did not experience that, obviously, because there was a lockdown. So pre-lockdown, what was the party scene like?
So, like pre-lockdown, you could find a party. Okay, Tuesdays was the crazy days in Pelourinho. Like that's what parties happen in Pelourinho. Also in Rio Vermelho, some things happen on Tuesdays, but not really that much. Wednesday was a chill day, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and like early Sunday, you could find something to do. Pretty much like all over the city, there's something to do. And that's what recently that was like it kind of died down after a while, but like back in 2012 it was literally like 24 hours a day all over the place, parties all the freaking time during the summertime.
Wow.
Yeah. I imagine that once the parties get back going, it's just going to be crazy because people are like they've been in the house for almost a year and a half, right. So they're like it's going to be madness.
Kind of like New York. New York people they're doing a lot. Yeah. We have another question. Are they doing vaccines over there as well?
Yes, they are doing vaccines. They're rolling the vaccines out really slow. There's been a lot of controversy and corruption behind these vaccines. Well, not like craziness. There was a batch of vaccines that were expired,
Wow.
that they were still giving to people. They like hyperinflated the price of the vaccine so they could like pull more money out of the government to pay. They paid, I think, $19 for each vaccine, 19 reais, or something absurd for the vaccine, and the vaccines cost like 15
Wow.
cents. So there's stuff like that, and it's really slow. They actually just started vaccinating people in their 40s.
Oh wow, yeah. I heard in Rio they're rolling it out for everybody. So I'm sure Salvador is a
Yeah,
little different.
yeah. Salvador's probably is a little bit behind. I'm sure they will start now. Um, but it's not as bad as they were saying it was. Like I hear people,
Yeah.
telling me that the news is like, oh my God, it's total chaos. People are
Yeah,
dying on the streets. People are
that's
dying on the streets, but it's not from COVID. Like cops are killing people rampantly out here. Like this has
yeah.
been the highest murder year for the cops in Brazil, period. And
That's
I'm sure
another
that
thing.
most of the deaths,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure that most of the deaths by the cops have been counted as COVID deaths. Like I can't verify that as fact, but like it's probably true
Sheesh.
because
Wow.
there's such a large black population here, and
Yeah.
the colonization and the extermination agenda has not stopped. It's just been ramped up, actually.
Yeah. At all. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Amar, for like sharing your insight and sharing your knowledge and everything with us today. I appreciate you coming on the live again, friends. If you would like to contribute to Amar's project, Guerreiros Da Luz, please hit me up and send me a message. And also, you can hit him up if you follow him on Instagram and subscribe to his YouTube. You also can still order burgers tonight. It is Friday
Yep.
night. Get you a burger if you're in Brazil, if you're in Salvador specifically.
Yeah,
So
because we
yeah,
don't deliver the Rio from here.
not yet, not yet,
Not yet.
not
Yeah.
yet, not yet, but soon, soon. Okay. All right, Amar, it's been real. You have a great night. You have a
Yeah.
great
Thank you.
weekend. Thank
I
you so much.
appreciate the invite. Thank you very much. It's
No
always good to talk to
problem.
you too.
Yes, indeed. All right, friends. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end this live. If you have more questions, go ahead and comment. I'm sure Amar will answer them, or I can answer them throughout the week or whenever we see them. All right, y'all.
Yes.
It's been
Yes.
real
Yes.
on Reggie Bridges the Gap. Tune in for next week. I will be talking about a pilot that I am coming out with. So please, please tune in next week. I will see you all next week. Bye bye.
Peace.